Welcome back to the channel Numisma Hub Coin enthusiasts. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating history and hidden treasures of American coinage. If you love rare coins, their stories, and their true value, you're in the right place. Top 2V first up. The year 1907 marks one of the most pivotal moments in the history of American coinage, especially with the introduction of the $10 Indian head eagle. This gold coin was designed during President Theodore Roosevelt's era of reform, when he was determined to elevate American coin designs to the level of classical art. Roosevelt believed that U.S. coinage had grown dull and uninspired, and he sought the help of one of the greatest sculptors of the time, Augustus St. Gaudens, to create new designs for the nation's gold coins. Prior to 1907, the $10 gold coin had featured the Liberty head design, first introduced in 1838 by Christian Gobrecht. While functional and familiar, the Liberty head was considered uninspired by Roosevelt. By the early 20th century, Roosevelt's passion for art and symbolism drove him to commission St. Gaudens to create a bold, modern redesign that would reflect the strength and ideals of the United States. Thus began the creation of what many regard as one of the most beautiful coins in American history. St. Gaudens, already recognized for his sculptures and monuments, introduced a revolutionary concept for the $10 piece. Instead of Liberty in her usual neoclassical crown, he envisioned her wearing a Native American feathered war bonnet. This was a daring departure from tradition, blending classical allegory with uniquely American imagery. The choice symbolized freedom, courage, and the nation's respect, though not without controversy, toward Native American heritage. On the obverse of the 1907 $10 gold coin, Liberty is depicted in a left-facing portrait with the feathered headdress. Above her is the word Liberty, while around the rim are 13 stars representing the original colonies. The date 1907 is placed below the portrait. This design immediately stood out as dynamic and distinctly American, breaking away from older European-influenced motifs. The reverse of the coin features a majestic American eagle standing on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness to defend the nation. The arrows are intertwined with an olive branch representing peace. Around the design are the inscriptions United States of America, EPLURBUSUNUM, and the denomination $10. Above the eagle appeared the motto "In God We Trust," although early versions of the coin controversially omitted it. The omission of "In God We Trust" on some 1907 issues was a significant point of debate. President Roosevelt initially believed the motto was a form of irreverence, taking God's name too lightly in common use. However, public outcry and congressional intervention soon restored the motto to subsequent issues of the coin. This small detail makes the 1907 no-motto varieties especially noteworthy among collectors. The 1907 $10 Indian head gold eagle was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and it became one of the most artistically celebrated coins of the era. The coin contained 90% gold and 10% copper, weighing 16.718 grams with a diameter of 27 millimeters. Its gold content was worth $10 at the time, but has since become far more valuable due to both precious metal content and collectible demand. Because the design was so bold, minting the coin came with technical challenges. St. Gaudens' original high-relief models were difficult to strike using standard equipment. This meant that adjustments had to be made to the dies to create a version that could be produced in larger quantities. While this caused frustration for the mint, the compromise preserved most of the original artistry while making the coin practical for circulation. The introduction of the 1907 coin marked the beginning of a new artistic era for U.S. coinage. It stood alongside St. Gaudens' even more famous $20 double eagle, both of which transformed how American coins were viewed. No longer mere instruments of commerce, coins were now also works of art, admired for their symbolism and craftsmanship. Collectors today see the 1907 Indian head eagle as the first of its kind and a milestone in numismatic history. It represents not only the beginning of the series that would run until 1933, but also Roosevelt's vision realized. Its beauty lies not only in the gold itself but in the cultural and political narrative that shaped its creation. Mintage numbers for the 1907 coin were relatively low compared to later years, making it a desirable acquisition for collectors. Exact production varied by subtype, with both no motto and with motto examples surviving. Their rarity and artistic appeal have kept demand consistently high on the numismatic market. Beyond its rarity, the coin carries immense historical symbolism. It represents a time when America was stepping onto the world stage as a modern power, confident in its identity yet still grappling with its cultural representation of Native Americans. The imagery of Liberty in a war bonnet was unusual, but it reflected Roosevelt's desire to craft a national identity rooted in both classical ideals and Native symbolism. Over the decades, the 1907 $10 Indian head coin has become a prized centerpiece in many collections. Condition plays a critical role in value, with uncirculated and high-grade specimens commanding significant premiums. Coins with sharp details, vibrant luster, and minimal wear often sell for thousands of dollars at auctions. The coin's enduring appeal is also tied to the genius of St. Gaudens. Tragically, he passed away in 1907, the same year his designs were first struck. Thus, the 1907 coins stand as both a beginning and an end, the dawn of a new era in coin design and the final artistic contribution of one of America's greatest sculptors. Today, the 1907 $10 gold coin is more than just currency. It is an artifact of art, history, and national identity. It bridges the gap between commerce and culture, embodying Roosevelt's vision of beauty in everyday objects. Its presence in museums, private collections, and auctions continues to inspire admiration from numismatists and historians alike. In conclusion, the 1907 $10 gold Indian head eagle is remembered as a cornerstone of American coinage. Born out of Roosevelt's drive for artistic renewal, executed through St. Gaudens' genius and minted in a year of transition, it has left an indelible mark on history. Each surviving coin tells a story of innovation, controversy, and national pride, making the 1907 issue one of the most celebrated gold coins ever produced by the United States. Next up, the 1911 $10 gold coin, officially known as the Indian head eagle, represents one of the most iconic designs in American numismatic history. Struck by the United States Mint, it was part of the larger gold coinage reform initiated by President Theodore Roosevelt, who believed American coinage should be more artistic and inspiring, reflecting the greatness of the nation. The 1911 issue continued this artistic legacy that had begun in 1907 with the introduction of the Indian head design created by the renowned sculptor Augustus St. Gaudens. The $10 gold piece had already existed in U.S. coinage since the 1790s, but the 1907 redesign introduced the new and now famous Indian head motif. By 1911, the coin was in regular circulation, being minted at Philadelphia and Denver. These coins contain 90% gold and 10% copper, weighing 16.718 grams, with a diameter of 27 millimeters. They held a face value of $10, but their gold content made them worth much more, especially in later decades. The obverse of the 1911 $10 gold coin features Lady Liberty wearing a Native American war bonnet, an unusual and symbolic design choice by St. Gaudens. Roosevelt wanted a bold departure from traditional neoclassical depictions, and the headdress was meant to symbolize both liberty and the cultural spirit of America. The word liberty appears across the band of the feathered headdress, surrounded by 13 stars representing the original states with the date 1911 placed at the bottom. On the reverse side, the coin proudly displays a majestic bald eagle standing confidently on a bundle of arrows and an olive branch. This imagery represents America's strength and readiness for defense, while also embodying peace through the olive branch. Above the eagle appear the words United States of America and the denomination $10. The motto EPLURIBUS UNUM is inscribed to the left of the eagle, while In God We Trust is also present depending on the variety. It is worth noting that when these coins were first minted in 1907, Roosevelt objected to including the motto In God We Trust, believing it was inappropriate to place the name of God on coinage used for commercial purposes. Public outcry, however, quickly led to Congress ordering the motto to be restored on coins in 1908. By the 1911 issues, the motto was permanently included, and thus collectors distinguish between no motto and with motto varieties in earlier years. The 1911 Indian head eagles were struck at two mints, Philadelphia no mint mark and Denver with D mint mark. Philadelphia produced the majority of the coins, while Denver's mintage was far lower, making the 1911 D a significantly scarcer issue. This has great implications for collectors, as the 1911 D is considered a key date within the series. In terms of mintage, the Philadelphia Mint produced around 505,500 pieces in 1911, while the Denver Mint produced only about 30,100 coins. This vast difference makes the Denver issue highly sought after. Survival rates also play an important role. While many Philadelphia coins were saved, the 1911 D suffered heavy circulation, meaning fewer high-grade examples exist today. During this period, the United States was on the gold standard, and $10 gold coins circulated alongside paper currency and silver dollars. These coins were not merely for collectors, they were used in large financial transactions, bank reserves, and international trade. However, due to their intrinsic value, many were hoarded, melted, or exported, reducing the number that survived in pristine condition. The design by St. Gaudens was part of a broader effort to elevate U.S. coinage into an art form. The 1911 issue is admired for its sharp details, strong strike, and bold relief, although some coins may show weak strikes on the headdress or eagle's feathers. Collectors today prize well-struck examples, particularly those with minimal bag marks and good luster. The rarity of the 1911D is particularly important in higher grades. While lower-grade circulated examples are accessible, uncirculated specimens are exceedingly rare and command very high premiums. The coin's scarcity is amplified by the fact that many were melted in later decades, particularly after the Gold Recall Act of 1933, when President Franklin D. Roosevelt ordered Americans to turn in most of their gold coins. During the 20th century, millions of gold coins, including many Indian head eagles, were melted down by the U.S. Treasury. This mass destruction significantly reduced the available supply for collectors. As a result, even relatively common dates became scarce, while already low mintage coins like the 1911D became numismatic treasures. The artistry of the Indian head design has continued to inspire admiration among collectors and historians. The symbolism of liberty wearing a Native American headdress stands as a unique artistic experiment, blending classical and indigenous themes. Some critics at the time found it unusual, but today it is celebrated as one of the boldest and most creative coin designs in American history. For numismatists, the 1911 issue provides not only historical significance but also a challenge in completing a set. The Denver issue in particular is regarded as one of the semi-key dates of the series, and acquiring a well-preserved example is considered a milestone in advanced collections. Grading plays a crucial role, as the price difference between circulated and mint-state examples is dramatic. In terms of market value, the 1911 Philadelphia coins in circulated condition are typically worth a bit over their bullion value, but high-grade mint-state pieces can command thousands of dollars depending on luster and eye appeal. The 1911D, however, is on an entirely different level, with even lower-grade examples fetching strong premiums, and uncirculated coins selling for tens of thousands of dollars at major auctions. Auction records show the strength of demand for these coins. For example, superb gem 1911D eagles have realized prices upwards of $100,000, depending on grade and certification. Collectors and investors alike value them not only for their gold content but also for their rarity, historical importance, and aesthetic appeal. Today, the 1911 $10 Indian head gold coin stands as a remarkable piece of American coinage history. It reflects a pivotal era in U.S. monetary policy, artistry, and culture. Whether found in well-circulated condition or preserved as a mint-state rarity, it carries a story of American pride, Roosevelt's vision for beautiful money, and the enduring value of gold as both currency and collectible. For serious numismatists, owning a 1911 Indian head eagle, especially the coveted 1911D, is both an achievement and a connection to one of the most fascinating chapters in American coin history.